We're back with Denise Davis, the Emergency Management Coordinator with the City of Westminster, and right now we're going to talk about the natural disasters. Once it happened, what does it feel like in the aftermath?
Well, when you have a big earthquake or a big flooding, it's very, very disruptive to your life. What you normally do on a day-to-day basis, you probably won't be able to do. Some people may lose their homes. Some people may have to evacuate to a shelter. So it can be traumatic. It can be very traumatic. People can get injured. People can be killed. So it is somewhat shocking, I guess, because people don't expect it to happen. We know that earthquakes can happen here. We know that flooding can happen here. We know that explosions can happen and
Right.
all of these things. But we don't think about it because usually on the day-to-day basis, we're safe and we have our comforts in our home. So, people feel affected by that. They may see things that are not pleasant. They may see people that are injured. They may see, building damage and fires and smoke and hazardous materials, and it's something that people can be affected by, and they can feel scared and vulnerable for a long time afterwards. So we have talked previously about the CERT program, and we teach a course called Disaster Psychology, and it's how to recognize those symptoms in people and what to do about it. So people may feel scared, children especially, and they may not be able to sleep. Their eating habits may change. They may feel aggravated or frustrated, and so and when those symptoms carry on over the course of a long time, then they may need to go see someone, a doctor, to help them with those things. But initially, we're put in a position where we're not comfortable. We may lose our infrastructure in our city. We may not have power. We may not have water. You won't be able to use the restrooms, the toilets, and so you have to come up with alternate plans to be able to live your life, because you don't know how long it's going to be before those water pipes are repaired and and your home is, goes through reconstruction or something. So
Yeah, those are behaviors that we might encounter through our kids, through our family members. Are there resources that can help those victims?
yeah, the city will bring in resources to help people. We set up after a disaster happens. Initially, everything is response. We want to rescue people. We want to save lives. We want to put out fires. We want to shut off, leaking gas, and all of that is a response. And then there comes a point when you start moving towards what we call recovery. And recovery is, the initial recovery is we want to get our city and our infrastructure back working again. And then long-term recovery is where we want to have everything in our city back to how it was or better. So during that initial recovery, where we're trying to get the infrastructure back and working, and that means we want to get the power back on. We want to get water working. We want to get our sanitation systems back in operation. We want to have people safe in their homes or in an alternate living facility until they can get back to their home.
Do these people recover from these events?
They do. I think, they do. If they have issues, psychological issues due to the event, they can get help. And the city brings in people where they bring in doctors and they bring in trained psychologists to evaluate people and to give them a recipe to recoup and recover from what they've gone through in a disaster.
Basically, we touch base on the different resources that can help those victims of the natural disaster within our cities. Where can they go for more information regarding about how to help themselves specifically and how to help their family members?
Well, there's information all over the internet on that. You can look up disaster psychology. There are books in the library. There are, even on the television, they have shows that show disasters and then talk about places where to go to get help. We're redoing our city's website, and we will have a recovery section on there with resources that they can either look up or get a book, or we will have pamphlets available at the police department. And when we have city outreach functions, we have, in fact, we're trying to plan one now to come up in late October, which I think we're going to have at the Asia Mall. And so it will have pamphlets and self-help flyers for people that they can take home and keep, and then try and implement the recommendations put there on preparedness, and then what to do during an incident, a disaster, and then how to recover from that. So.
Speaking of location like the Asian Garden Mall, I heard that there's a process developing right now. Is there going to be a course for the Vietnamese community or the Hispanic community?
Yes, we would really like to do that. We would like to develop something like a community emergency response team, a course where we teach self-help, how to do things, but maybe it would be translated into Vietnamese so that people could understand better if they don't speak English well. So we're working on developing that program, and we would like you to be involved in that program as well.
Well, I'm glad to be assist any way I can. And noticing that the Vietnamese community or anybody else, they're usually busy with working. Will that program fit for them, for those who can't commit to volunteering all the time?
Well, the course wouldn't even actually require volunteering.
Okay.
It would be more of a training program. And then if the community called for a volunteers program, then we would develop one in the community, so that if you think about too, that we want people to be prepared in their home and in their neighborhood. And so people can always take the training that they would receive and help their neighbors and other family members. And then if they wanted to volunteer, they could always volunteer through West County CERT, or they could start a volunteer program in their neighborhoods, kind of like Neighborhood Watch, but it would have disaster preparedness in there too. So we would work on developing that for them.
That's right. There's nothing better than being prepared for a natural disaster just in case it happened. And for those people you would like to get involved with the CERT program, there's a training coming up on October 16, 17, and October 23rd and 24th over the weekend. Really easy. Within the 20-hour time frame, people can get involved, and if they want more information, they can contact CERT or you. Can you please provide us those information?
Yeah. My the easiest is probably my email, which is ddavis@westminster-ca.gov.
That's right. For more information, you may visit the website, our city website at Westminster. You may visit our website at www.westminster-ca.gov for more information. Would you like to say any last remark before we say goodbye?
Well, I just really appreciate being able to talk with you and to get information out to the community, and know that we have a lot in store for the City of Westminster as far as emergency preparedness. And so keep abreast by checking our website. We'll be having that website up within the next month or so. And then we also will be advertising through press releases, through the paper, through radio and Vietnamese television.
Thank
for
you
all the different things that we'll have.
so much, Ms.
Thank
Denise
you.
Davis.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching Little Sick on TV, how to prepare for all these natural disasters and emergency. Goodbye.